Welcome to Health and Wellness Marketplace. We've got a great show today, a really unique show actually. We're here with Joan Schrader from Health and Wisdom. She's affectionately known as the Queen of Magnesium. Is there a way to shorten that up? The Queen of something? No?
Joan works.
Joan?
Joan works.
Too? Okay. Also, you're a Native American practitioner.
Right.
And this is something that requires, this is perfect for Marketplace because Marketplace gives us an opportunity to talk about products and services and things that need a little bit of explanation. And magnesium is one of those things. We've heard about it, we know a little bit about it, we don't really know why it's important, but we're going to talk a little bit about that today and why Marketplace is focusing on this and why we're offering this for sale at shophwc.com. Now, magnesium really is one of the cornerstones of human beings at the cellular level.
That's right. It's one of the electrolytes which people run into when they get dehydrated. That's one of the many electrolytes we need to restore. But it's also the mineral responsible for relaxation. And it belongs inside every cell of the body. And when our magnesium levels drop due to stress or illness or exercise, the calcium, which is responsible for constriction and belongs outside of the cells, will flow to the inside of the cell to protect the cell integrity until we restore the magnesium levels inside and boot calcium back out where it needs to go.
So when you talk about relaxation, it's not just that calcium will relax us in many of the things it does.
Calcium won't relax us.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
It's a Freudian calcium slip.
That's right.
Magnesium doesn't just relax you as an individual, make you feel better after work, etc. But at the molecular level, it literally relaxes. So cells in your body require form and rigidity and strength, but also, in order to be healthy, they must have a fluid nature to them and a malleable nature.
That's right.
And a relaxed nature. Anytime that there's a depreciation of the magnesium levels in your body, the cell still needs some rigidity. So the magnesium will leave the cell, and that can happen, as you said, from stress, anxiety, basically day-to-day living. The magnesium levels are depleted, typically through urine, and the cell, however, still needs to retain rigidity. And so what happens is something comes in to the cell to ensure that it retains its rigidity because it needs its integrity retained. And that thing that comes in, I already foreshadowed what it was, is calcium. And calcium comes in to replace the magnesium that has been removed from the cell. Now, anybody knows the word calcified knows exactly what calcium will do to cells. And it will make them very tense and brittle to an extent.
It can.
And that's no way to go through life with tense and brittle and non-malleable, non-relaxed cells. So you don't want that. You want to do everything you can to keep your cellular magnesium from being depleted.
Right.
So, great, Drew, Joan. I know that my my cells need to have the integrity of sufficient levels of magnesium, but I'm stressed. I don't sleep well. I'm a weekend warrior. I work out. My muscles hurt, etc. Most of the hurting, the twitching, the pain, the mood swings, etc., can be traced to an issue with your magnesium levels. Now, you were telling me earlier about magnesium levels and the measurement of such, right?
Right. Many people will go to the doctor, they get their routine physical, and it says magnesium levels are perfectly fine in their blood work. That's fantastic, because if they aren't fine, you're an acute alcoholic or in kidney failure. However, it's not really a valuable measurement for what we're looking for, because only 1% of magnesium is in the blood. 99% is in the soft tissues. So then it comes down, do I need to go get an expensive test? No, Drew, save your money. Because when you have the muscle aches and pains and insomnia and migraines and other issues in your life, hormonal issues, everything that's out of balance, magnesium. These are indicators. Those are all symptoms of the bigger problem, magnesium deficiency. Now, people can continue to go and be treated for the symptoms, but if they don't go to the cause of the problem, they're going to continue to have issues the rest of their life. So we go to the cause.
So we've gone to the cause, and so we've identified that even if we don't know 1,000% or 100% that magnesium levels are the issue, there's nothing to stop you from trying what we're going to recommend for insomnia, for ailments as far as aches and pains and mood swings, etc.
Anger is another big one. When people get tight, they get irritable, they get crabby, they get angry. And if you have people in your life, or you are the one that's angry all the time, soak your feet.
So thank you for the segue. Soak your feet. So there's 3 ways that you can, well, actually, before we talk about the 3 ways in which the products that you can get from shophwc.com and the number on your screen can be used, the most important thing to talk about is the way in which we can administer magnesium, with the way in which we can introduce magnesium into our bodies and in our diets, and into the cellular levels at which we need. One is there's oral and there's non-oral. So there's oral and there's topical.
Right.
The oral way is problematic because
if you're taking oral supplements of magnesium, they are all laxatives. And everybody knows you never take a laxative long term because you're going to be addicted to it. But somehow, thought processes don't seem to come through to the magnesium side, and they really should, because magnesium, when you are taking it, it needs to stay in the colon 12 to 24 hours to be fully absorbed. When people take enough to be beneficial at the cellular level, they end up getting diarrhea. So they back off the amount that they take, and that reduction can actually mean that it takes 3 to 5 years for it to reach the cells. And in the meantime, you can be developing addiction to laxatives.
none of that sounds good.
No.
But just imagine that for a second. It makes complete sense why it would take 5 years for you to get enough in your gut area to be absorbed to be of any benefit. It has to stay there for a half to an entire day, and yet the product that you've introduced there is a natural laxative. Mm-hmm. So the fact of the matter is that you're relying on something to stay there that wants to leave and will leave on its own. So it's a complete juxtaposition. It's an anathema. You want to do it the way that Joan is suggesting we do it, in the way that's available at shophwc.com and by calling the number on your screen. And that is by introducing it topically through the epidermis. And there are 3 different ways of doing that. And we call it, I've just started calling it the hierarchy of administration of magnesium. Sounds like an apartment in Eastern Europe. But the first way to do this is by a foot bath. And why the feet?
The feet is the center of all of the nerves in the body and in the feet. Your circulatory system's in the feet. When you take, and I tried to get Drew to do this on camera, but he absolutely refused to do it. You take a clove of garlic and you crush the clove of garlic. Well, yeah, but on your feet, not so much. Okay, you rub it on the bottom of your foot, and within seconds, you'll taste it. And that's how quick what's applied to the feet is absorbed by the body.
So the foot bath is the way to go. And for the foot bath, we have the magnesium oil that 15, 20, 25 minutes while you're watching your television shows, while you're reading a book, while you're
watching this show.
While you're watching this show.
There you go. The reruns, you can just be soaking your feet.
While you're calling mom, everybody call your mother. You can, 20 minutes, 2 or 3 times, and it should have an effect.
Right. Yeah, ideally, if someone is significantly deficient in magnesium, if you were to do a foot soak 6 days a week for a month, you would significantly raise your levels. Then after that, 2 to 3 times a week for maintenance, but you could continue to do it every day. Biggest trigger is your stress level. And stress can be electronics and computers and pollution. It doesn't have to be other people, although a lot of times other people are the stressors in our lives as well. But when you soak your feet and you get your magnesium levels up, you learn to listen to your body, because when you stop doing it and the symptoms start returning, gotta soak my feet again.
Yeah. So, and we could probably all use, the world would probably be a nicer place if we just soaked our feet in general.
It would.
I would think. The second way, the second tier in the hierarchy of magnesium administration is to do an entire bath, a crystals bath. And we've got the magnesium bath crystals here. Nice, heavy 1.75 pound container. Now the beauty of this is, and make sure that when you're comparing products, that you also compare the serving sizes or the amount that's required to introduce into your bath, because there are lots of products out there that are also crystals that have a lot of fillers like Epsom salts, etc. You need an entire cup of this stuff to introduce the magnesium that
of their stuff, yes.
Of their stuff,
of
yeah.
this stuff, no. It's super concentrated form of the oil.
Exactly. And so so this is absorbed epidemiologically through your skin, let's just say that. And that's a nice way to get, if you're aching, if you're paining, it's a nice way to get it introduced through your entire, all of your body.
It is, and people who suffer from conditions such as fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue and everything hurts all the time, this is the most effective way. If you can safely get in and out of the tub, of course, we always express caution because it is relaxing. So step out of tubs very carefully if you're going to use this in a tub and you are risky at that kind of situation.
Yeah, tub safety is an unexplored.
But people who have all over conditions and they soak in the bathtub, every inch of skin is exposed to the relaxation properties of the magnesium as it's absorbed through the skin, and they get the most benefit at that point.
The third way to do it, and this is for those weekend warriors who may overdo it on the weekends, etc., is the magnesium gel with aloe infusion. And what we do is we would apply this to the issue, the place where there's an issue, your neck, your forearms for your tennis fans, your legs, and also, never forget, always make this one common denominator, the bottom of your feet.
Right.
So topically, if you don't want to do a foot soak necessarily, if you don't want to draw a bath, or if in this modern world you don't have a bathtub, the gel is the way to go. Topically apply it. Soaks right in.
That's right. The biggest thing, it's a vasodilator, so it will be absorbed very quickly. Most important is consistency. It doesn't matter if the foot soak is the best way and the tub soak is second. If you're not going to do either one of those, my husband is one. He's not going to soak his feet and he's not going to get in a bathtub. However, Bob's a great guy. And Bob will allow me to do the back rub. Well, yeah, Drew pointed out that it was probably just a ploy, but it doesn't matter. He gets the magnesium in.
He's a smart guy.
So he is. So he's smart enough to marry me. So we turn around and we do his whole back, his legs, and his feet. Now his feet used to be so rough that they literally would tear the sheets. But his feet are now baby soft because of the magnesium. His feet actually are really wonderful as feet go.
Leave Bob's feet out of this, please.
Yeah, okay.
Let's move on.
No Bob's feet. But the point is, by putting the magnesium on him every day, his legs don't twitch at night. His heart is more stable.
Yeah, and we just have a few seconds left, but insomnia.
Yeah.
Right? Heart issues. You got a quick story about a heart attack patient.
I was. A man had a heart attack, and the man who did the original clinical trials on the magnesium products is a neurosurgeon, and he claimed that any heart patient that was not given an injection of magnesium at the time of the heart attack, it was considered malpractice. And so it is that vital. Heart's the biggest muscle in the body, and it needs to be relaxed and balanced just like this. Another one, we got a second, a woman with blood pressure. She had a set of twins 28 years ago. During the C-section, an artery was cut. And ever since that birth of those twins, her blood pressure has been uncontrollable. 28 years, tons of medication. She started soaking her feet with the magnesium oil, and in 2 weeks, her blood pressure for the first time is totally stable and under control.
Now, as much as we run away from calling things magical elixirs for all that ails you, the bottom line is this stuff is inexpensive. If you've got issues, soak your feet in a magnesium bath. Soak your body in a magnesium bath, apply magnesium gel with aloe, all available at shophwc.com. It's inexpensive. What do you have to lose? Thank you, Joan.
Thanks, Drew.